transgenders, transsexuals, Katois. In this land of Buddhism and large population, people with unique minds roam within the streets of Thailand. Transsexualism refers to the concept that people undergo surgery to change their inherited sex, while transgenderism refers to the idea that people have a gender identity that differs from their assigned sex and mind. Modern-day Thailand is a nation-state with transsexuals being 2% of the population. Transsexuals, or in Thai, Katois, which refers to men that choose to transition into women, have now become a widely accepted part of Thai culture. Thailand's openness today is the result of its rather tolerant nature, along with the conflicts and compromises in the history of the Thai integration of transgendered and transsexual peoples. In 1975, Dr. Preecha Chuantham performed the first sex reassignment surgery, SRS, in Thailand, which created a compromise to solve the internal conflict between the transgendered men's inherited gender and their desired gender. The surgery had little direct effects on the society. However, it signified the start of the existence of transsexuals in Thailand, which then had an imperceptible influence on Thai society's attitude towards transsexuals. This laid the foundation for Thailand's development into one of the most LGBT-tolerant countries today. One essential element that served as the basis for the Thai society's mindset is their religion, which, the most influential religion in Thailand was, and still is, inarguably, Buddhism. Buddhism in Thailand was to an extent against transsexualism at the time.
Stay with this body by long life and ultimate happiness. Try to deny everything by freedom.
It aimed for happiness but despised personal freedom. Transsexualism demonstrated strong encouragement towards pursuing personal freedom. The resulting attack on transsexualism created a barrier for the transgendered men to face in society. On the other hand, however, one of the Buddhism-oriented books named Tipitaka contained a myth about a monk that had the ability to transform back and forth between both genders, which indicated their tolerance towards LGBT. Even back in the 1900s, Thailand was rather tolerant towards LGBT in comparison to the rest of the world.
People are fighting about transsexuals in Thailand. More acceptable comparing to many countries in this region.
Thai law decriminalized sodomy in 1956, whereas the same happened in the UK in 1967, France in 1971, and the US in 2003. While all three of these countries are considered LGBT-friendly countries, Thailand has always been at the forefront of times when it comes to LGBT tolerance. Transsexualism developed rapidly in the 1900s. In the 1910s, the first pioneer of transsexuality, Dr. Magnus Hirschfeld, first started to explore SRS. In 1930, a Danish woman named Lily Elbe received the first SRS in the world. This surgery was reported in Fresh News, one of the most influential Thai local newspapers.
The first one is Ernam Morgan Wegener, and then he changed to the name Lily Elbe.
Media coverage started to influence Thai society's views on transsexualism. In 1952, the story of the first American patient, Christine Jorgensen, who successfully underwent sex reassignment surgery, was published in New York Daily News, and an autobiography was written about her experience. At this point, transsexualism fully moved into public spotlight. Countries all over the world, including Britain, the United States, and France, began to accept SRS. The changing international mindset also laid foundation for Thailand to develop the SRS techniques. It was transsexualism itself as an internal conflict and as a global concern, along with the Thai society's tolerant nature, that led to a compromise in 1975. People who identify as transsexual are usually impacted by a condition known as gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria involves a strong conflict between a person's assigned gender and the gender with which he or she identifies. Many of those people fall into emotional distress or depression because they conflicted social gender norms. As tolerant as the Thai society, it was still impossible for a transgendered man to completely avoid weird glances and hurtful words. Dr. Preecha recorded that there was a whole group of people with gender dysphoria, and that he could not inhibit the desire of these people who suffer from strongly wishing to change their genital sex. In 1975, Dr. Prichatuanton and Dr. Prakok Dongpo performed the first sex reassignment surgery in Thailand. This surgery provided the transgendered men a compromise between their inherited sex and their desired sex, as it was the nearest approach toward their desired gender.
I want to have children, but cannot have.
Although a single surgery did not bring any immediate effects to the society, as the amount of SRS increased to become a social phenomenon, external conflict with the society also came to a compromise. In the late 20th century, while Thai law did not criminalize homosexuality nor explicitly ban discrimination on the grounds of sexual orientation and gender identity, transgendered men were not recognized in the Thai legal system, which at the time strictly and explicitly identified persons in the law by only male and female.
Thai is not accept Kathoey because Thai is two, male and female. Middle, not accept. Yes, not accept in the law. Kathoey cannot change from man to miss. Cannot change. He is a man. In the law, he is a man.
After becoming transsexuals, they still can't legally change their sex to female. On the other hand, the society became more tolerant to Kathoeys and treated them more like normal people due to their increased exposure. Without this compromise, transgender men in Thailand, though may not face obvious discrimination, would have remained as social outcasts of society.
Some people tell me buffalo.
The SRS of 1975 not only served as a compromise that resolved the transgendered men's conflict of gender dysphoria, but also signified the start of the society's acceptance of Kathoeys. The first sex reassignment surgery performed in Thailand was not only significant in its medical and social impact, but also influential in terms of its indirect political influence. The compromise in society was gradual. Conflict still existed after the SRS of 1975, but it was the gradual influence on people's attitudes towards Kathoeys that mattered. The voice of the Kathoeys started to matter and the law started to adjust for them. Examples would be how sexual identity, gender, and sexual diversity were noted as protected grounds inclusive in the grounds of sex and intentions of the Constitution of Kingdom of Thailand in 2007. How mental disorder was replaced by an illness that cannot be cured in 30 days on transsexual and gay service records in 2008. Which prohibits discrimination based on sex, how the Thailand Medical Council regulated sex change operation and published criteria for the treatment of sex change in 2009, and how the Gender Equality Act in 2015 in Thailand protected LGBT people and aimed to punish discrimination based on gender identity and sexual orientation. Each law signifies a major improvement in Thai social attitude towards transsexuals. It is the improved social attitude in Thailand that enlarges the compromise by bringing it from a surgery without any regulations in 1975 to a critical concern of government laws in the early 21st century.
These patients, when they woke up, they smile. Most of them, they all smile. Never have any complaint about the operation because they're so happy. They want to get rid of it. So they have so much of agony inside for their life.
The process of compromise turned Thailand into an open-minded country with strong tolerance towards LGBT. The SRS of 1975 marked the crucial starting point of this compromise. Unlike the past when Kathoeys were still social outcasts of the society, they now have more rights and, more importantly, their happiness and freedom. The compromise broadened. The improved mindset of the entire society towards Kathoeys helped the whole LGBT community in Thailand to be better respected and live in the ways they desire. Thailand serves as a role model for the rest of the world to adopt tolerance towards LGBT people.
My family know me tasted lady boy, but she don't care about that. She very happy. I am what I am.